Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to yet another episode of the Islam and Finance Show. Today we delve into a topic that intertwines spirituality, commerce, and ethical considerations. It being how business can extract value from the Ramadan period we are in consideration to Islamic finance. My name is Nanteza Nadia, and this show is being brought to you by Hijaz Finance, an Islamic financial institution that decided to create a solution to the presented problem of a lack of halal savings, credit and investment options in Uganda. At Hijaz Finance, we encourage you to exercise finance in a halal way. Come save with us. Come and credit or even invest some of the money that you intend to invest using a halal institution like Hijaz Finance. We are located at Conrad Plaza, first floor along Nasser Road. Whoever is willing to join, or you who is asking how can I be part of Hijaz Finance, just go download the app at your Google Play Store or the Apple Store and open an account. It could be a personal savings account. Let's engage from there. Let's start from there. You can as well get updates about Hijaz Finance on the different social media platforms like X, Instagram, and Facebook. These are some of the things that we are doing to ensure that you keep informed about Hijaz Finance and Islamic finance in general. So you can as well check us out on our website www.hijazfinance.com for you to get a more closed, interaction with us, to get to know more what exactly does Hijaz do, how do they do the savings in a halal way, how can you earn credit, or you can even call us on 074 000 6123, and from there, you'll be able to understand what exactly goes on at Hijaz Finance. We encourage you to be part of us as much as you can in every way possible. So today in studio, I come with Mr. Mtebi Alawi, the CEO of Eurosat Group, and an ethical software development company who is also experienced in business development. And today we want to understand more, we want to explore more on how businesses can navigate the Ramadan market ethical and responsibility, tapping into the economic potential of the season, looking at how customers are utilizing this period and how businesses are maneuvering, what exactly is going on in the business realm, without leaving out the fact that we exercise ethical finance as Islamic financial institutions. This could be just a business that decides to run Islamic finance in its day-to-day running or operations. This could be a financial institution like Hijaz Finance. Mr. Mtebi, welcome on set.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Kindly say your greetings to our viewers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdata min lisani yafqahu qawli. We thank the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having given us this opportunity to have this type of moment in Ramadan, and on top of that, being alive and able to be among those who are fasting is a golden opportunity we have had. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts our deeds and accepts our fasting and all whatever we shall be doing along this journey of fasting, the holy month of Ramadan.
Mr. Mtebi, just simply provide an overview on the term Ramadan, or what it actually means and its essence on the Islamic calendar.
When we talk about Ramadan, it's something that really touches the hearts of the believers, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put one of the commandments, or in one of the ayats of the Quran, calling along the believers, the Muslims, and all those that follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu by saying, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. In the verse I have put forth, there is a lot of meaning we extract from there when we are to reflect on the meaning of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the real gist of ordering us to fast. Kutiba alaykum siyam. You are prescribed to fast. Now the description of fasting is a little bit detailed because it entails the time when we start fasting and the time when we end the day when we're fasting. So this brings to our concern that Ramadan is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has now prescribed mandatory fasting to us. There is always fasting that is optional. Yeah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribes the mandatory fasting during the month of Ramadan. There is a lot that is talked about the month itself, Ramadan, but because of the topic we are going to be deep diving into, I will not go into the details. But Ramadan is a month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed on us mandatory fasting.
So in this very session of Ramadan, or the month of Ramadan, what are some of the cultural and social aspects of, the people that businesses can be aware of when you look at the behavior change during Ramadan, of especially the Muslim community as well as the other community, because there is some sort of an embrace for the month even beyond the Muslim community?
Yeah, now in the world economy, this is a season. Yeah. Beyond us Muslims, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the last part of the verse I recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that la'allakum tattaqun. Now we who are fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to show us that this fasting I have prescribed on you is not only to make you hungry from morning up to evening, but the most important benefit is that you are going to get closer to me. You are going to gain that kind of taqwa that you have not been having before Ramadan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed this type of fasting to be something that is meant to bring us closer to Him, understand Him, and also pray to Him, invoke Him, do whatever is going to bring us closer to Him, so that we be the best of the human beings.
Is it why we see a lot of discipline in the month?
Actually, that's what drives people to say that it's now Ramadan. All people are going to be, if it is ladies, they are going to put on properly. If it is people who are selling different commodities, transacting, they are going to be a little bit disciplined. They are going to be ethical, because the gist is that we should get so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everybody does not want to lose out this opportunity of getting close to Allah. Now, the most important thing when it comes to economics or our economies as Muslims is that this kind of season of Ramadan, people are so much, before Ramadan, people are so much engaged into their businesses. Everybody is, moving here and there. They don't have time to sacrifice to fulfill some of the religious obligations that are either mandatory or sunnah. But we find it that this is a season where everybody, even if they are busy, if they have their feelings that they need to have some time to get so close to Allah, this is the time we see them also now trying to fix some time. Somebody has not been reciting Quran throughout all other months, but he says, no, I need to secure some time in my shop and get the mushaf and start reciting something. So as Muslims, it really creates a moment of getting so close to Allah.
And we assume that that is what is driving the change of behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that change affect business transactions? Is there anything the businesses should be aware of within, as we enter into the month, that they can think of to strategize to run their business in appreciation of the month?
We may not say that it is appreciating the month, but as businesses and as business people, we always adapt to different seasons, because different seasons come with different tastes and preferences. When we talk about Ramadan, this is when we feel the real tastes and preferences of Muslims. But not only Muslims, it also goes along to affect other business environments, because we have seen many environments now have Muslims. They are either they are either consumers or they are either producers of certain goods and services, or they are employees of a certain organization. So we have seen this as something that can affect all sectors of what? All sectors of the economy. But how the point is, how is each sector getting affected in Ramadan? We have seen, or we have analyzed certain sectors being affected indirectly positively, and others being affected indirectly positive.
Negatively, you mean?
I mean, the negative bit of it is there, but it's not what we need to emphasize, because this month, from the background of it, it's a month of barakah.
Well, there is a lot of
that's why I said
propaganda that, okay, the Muslims are fasting now, there is no money in the economy.
That's why I said people are benefiting indirectly. They are getting the positive indirectly. They might not see it. An example I would give is that, for example, if we have seen the formal setup where people are doing business, corporate business, we have seen productivity going a little bit low because certain people are dedicated to, performing their religious rites and whatsoever. But again, we have seen the informal sector thriving through this period of Ramadan. Now, what does it mean? Where is the 50-50? When we always see the informal sector excelling, there is going to be a positive feedback created on the formal sector. Just imagine someone is working in a market. This person who is working in a market has children, it's school time. They have got to pay school fees. So if we have these people being able to consume what this person in the market is selling, because you find out that the price of meat is a little bit high, the price of fruits is going high due to the demand that is always there. So you'll find out that this person is gaining more income.
Way more than the
Now, if he has been having challenges of paying, say, the landlord, or challenges of paying school fees, this is the time this person is going to be able to have some money to dispose of and pay school fees. So other times this person would have been getting money, but this would not be enough for him to dispose of. Now, since he's having a lot of income coming in terms of what they are selling,
him or her space to dispose.
Exactly. So they are going to dispose of some of this to the formal sector. Somebody has not been doing savings, say he's a Hijaz client, but his business has not been, having some good cash flows, not being able to save. This is a time when he's going to say, okay, now I have sold 100 pieces of, say, kanzu or hijab during this month. So it's going to make me able to save, to do some savings on my account. So this is now when we see the informal sector feeding the formal sector
Actually,
at a high rate.
When you talk about that, I also realize the fact that comes in whereby there is less spending during the day on maybe foodstuffs and everything, but then more spending in the evening hours.
Exactly. So you can't say that there is really a negative effect. To my own understanding, I actually feel there is a lot of consumption. Because
or maybe that is to very particular sects, like maybe the fashion industry, the food industry.
Yeah. Now, if because those are the major players of our day-to-day lives, and as Muslims, when we are fasting, what we abscond from, essentially, what we are expected to abscond from, essentially, is eating and drinking.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
But we don't stop wearing clothes.
No.
We keep wearing clothes. It's just because the preferences may change during Ramadan. People would prefer having more of the hijab,
the proper
hijab kind of approach. But again, maybe the sectors that are affected, I wouldn't say that the entertainment sector is affected so much, because when you look at the halal way of entertainment, even when it's not Ramadan, but because we know we are human beings, sometimes people escape the background, the boundaries, and go on to enjoy the non-halal kind of entertainment. This could create maybe now a negative effect on the other businesses that are not halal. But remember, as Muslims, for us, we are always advocating for an Islamic economic system, even when it is not formally, but our lives are designed to live an Islamic economic system. So maybe it is the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling upon those people who have escaped, who have going beyond the boundaries, to come back. That's why we reflect on the other last verse of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. If these people can live that type of entertainment during that time, then we are seeing them now coming close. What they have been spending on entertainment, it can be spent on other things. We have high levels of desires to do sadaqah.
Yeah.
Ramadan, people have a lot of appetite to do a lot of sadaqah. So you find out that the incomes or the revenues people have been getting, and spending on this, disposing them off to certain entertainment, non-halal entertainment, and now bring it back to do the halal. So still, for us as Islamic economic system advocates, we feel that one is still a positive effect.
I see. Could you throw a highlight on the importance of understanding the unique needs and preferences of the consumers for the businesses within the month?
Now we all get to know that during Ramadan there is pretty much of people focused on what really matters to their kind of spiritual improvement and worshiping activities. So as business people, we are always looking at Muslims during the month of Ramadan as our customers, we look forward to see them consuming much more of what is in their kind of line of worship. So when you talk about preferences and tastes during Ramadan, it really brings a direct implication on what each type of business is doing. But remember, we have got businesses that are consumer driven. What I mean is that they are household, products. Yeah. People say, for example, TV. TV is a household product. You get it? Yeah. Whether people are worshipping during the month of Ramadan or whether it's not Ramadan, we are going to be having people watching TV. But I mean, let's talk about the low level businesses now. Which type of business would you wish to be commented about?
Maybe the fashion industry.
Yeah, the fashion industry, we are seeing people's preferences high. But the only challenge which we are finding is that these people who are dealing in the Islamic fashion industry are trying to be so much they are trying to be so much taken away by the demand and supply kind of effect.
There is
because of the high demand,
of the
exactly, because of the high demand they are receiving, they end up exploiting consumers. So as Islamic finance or as Islamic economics advocates, we really don't feel it is proper for people to exploit others because of a mere season. Okay. We have seen economies like Saudi Arabia during the Hajj, during the Umrah periods, and also Ramadan. They have plenty of goods on market, and this is the only time actually they feel they can make enough money in the year. But they would always maintain their
the
prices
so
low, and most of these people who are selling to we Ugandans are getting those products from there at relatively lower prices. But you find out that when they bring here, because of the demand, actually by the time they buy, the demand there is a little bit low, and you find out that they are hiking the prices so high when it comes to Ramadan. Because if I want to buy a kanzu in Ramadan, the Eid kanzus and what, why would you really, hype the prices so high?
Doesn't that in a way distort the economy?
It a little bit distorts the economy, but remember the economy we are living in is a demand and supply kind of economy. Where there is high demand, then we are going to see prices going high, and the curves will dictate. But as Muslims, because most of our Muslim colleagues are dealing in these businesses, as you try to get so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been guided on how we are supposed to transact in businesses. You have got the cost price of your goods. The cost price of your goods includes the taxes, the rent, the what and what and what. And you know those calculations very well. You know the price at which you can sell and still get a profit. But as a Muslim dealing in the fashion and design industry, we don't expect you to, quadruple or triple these prices. You get it? Now, if somebody has a cost price of a kanzu, say at 100,000, why would you really double it to 200,000?
There is demand. If you don't want to buy.
Now, that is the point we want to address as Islamic economic advocates, because we know from the principles of Islam, you don't exaggerate and double the prices. what you are looking for is barakah into your business.
Yeah.
And you can't get barakah just from one mere customer who is coming to buy from you. What if you serve very many other people and their hearts are really, contented with what you have sold to them, and they can remain with some money to dispose of on other things? Don't you think there is a lot of barakah in that than selling to 2 or 4 people who are going to go saying, but this person was so expensive. I've just bought because I have lost options, but really I wouldn't buy. I've used money for school fees to buy these councils and what.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I'm going to fill it up. So where are the high chances of getting barakah in this whole month of Ramadan? The barakah is so much in selling at a relatively lower price where you get a profit, but again you can achieve your business objectives rather than hiking the prices because of the demand and supply. So we are calling upon Muslim businessmen that when it comes to Ramadan, you would actually lower your prices. If you have been selling at high prices, this is a period as a business person where you also need to contribute by selling at a relatively lower prices. We have seen in the corporate world some brands have come out and they have subsidized their services, their products, just because of the month of Ramadan, where our business people, the Muslims who are operating in shops, who are dealing in merchandise, who are dealing in foodstuffs, where are they to show their kind of contribution during this month of Ramadan? So let's show the contribution by actually selling at a relatively lower price. You might give sadaqah, you might sell higher and give sadaqah, but not everybody is going to benefit from the sadaqah you have given. But if your prices are low, we are going to see a number of people coming to consume your products because they're a little bit affordable. And for sure, I want to give you this assurance that you are not going to lose out.
So it can also be taken as a form of sadaqah.
Exactly.
Okay. What are some of the strategies these businesses can employ to ensure that they tap into the advantages of Ramadan, besides the lowering of the prices for those that have really understood the need for them to contribute in a more economic way?
Yeah, there are numerous ways, and it depends on the intention. As Muslims, worshipping and intention are 2 things that are imparable.
They move hand in hand.
They move hand in hand. So we cannot downplay, or we cannot underrate whatever intentions everybody has. But what we encourage people is to have their first intention to be, one, to be doing it for the sake of Allah, that they can benefit the rewards of doing good to others during the month of Ramadan.
So these business people, the vision bearers of the businesses, are supposed to communicate within maybe the business body, the employees and the other stakeholders, to put their first intention of business operation as closeness to Allah, or to bring at the end of the day to make their hearts or their business intentions to get closer to Allah.
Yeah, I know there are various teams and people who design strategies in different organizations, or in different businesses. Whether it is a sole business, we are seeing the owner designing the strategy. Whether it's a partnership or it's a group, there are always people who are laying down these strategies. So whatsoever business it is, we want to see people who are laying down strategies to feel that sense of spirituality that they want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to, they are pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in reverse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to put barakah into their what? Their business. So they are fully pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in return they expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow his favors upon their what? Their businesses. Whether they are Muslims or not Muslims, no matter. This intention can be well and clear put down. Then other intentions now can follow. For example, I might have you know, just like I serve with Eurosat group of companies as a CEO. As we sit down and, you know, design strategies on how we can benefit from Ramadan, we can't say we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give. Maybe we have not been giving charity during the other months, and we say we are going to be giving our sadaqah during this holy month of Ramadan. So what is our intention? We want to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by helping the needy people. But indeed, we are praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bestow his favors upon us. So that should be the first intention. But again, we can also go ahead and say, okay, but it's also a good time for us to show up our corporate social responsibility endeavors. You get it? So how do we do it? We can bring out our brand awareness campaigns during the month of Ramadan. You know, we put up our banners on whatever charity drives we are doing, but our primary intention was to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we are also doing the brand awareness and campaign during over these campaigns.
You talked about corporate social responsibility during Ramadan. How is it that these other companies, both the Muslims and the non-Muslims, can adapt? And also, what are those key companies you've seen that have gained some sort of success in the, you know, social corporate responsibility arena during the month of Ramadan?
Yes, now corporate social responsibility is part of is in line with what we call the SDGs, or the development goals that were laid down by the UN. And as Muslims, in the Islamic social development kind of aspect, we really do recommend and agitate for corporate social responsibility. Now, this is where different developed sectors come hand in hand to help the underprivileged. So the underprivileged people, during the month of Ramadan, we always want to see them not being left behind, because as human beings, we are no different in terms of creation. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed on us to fast, whether somebody is a rich person, or somebody is a middle class, or somebody has not had food to eat throughout the month before Ramadan, all those people are given the same prescription to fast the whole month of Ramadan. So where now does the corporate social responsibility come into play? So since this is a month of blessings, if your business is already up, well developed, with higher returns, you know, higher profit margins, we have seen companies like MTN reporting higher profit margins, increasing year in, year out. We have seen companies like Airtel, you know, having higher profit margins. So we expect them during this month of Ramadan to get a portion of their profit margins, a portion to help these needy and underprivileged communities, you know, also be able to fulfill their needs in terms of breaking their fast, in terms of preparing for their fast, in terms of having some good time with their beloved ones, to support them by giving in foodstuffs, by giving in certain things that would help them during this month of Ramadan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what are some of the challenges that companies can expect to face in in trying to promote themselves, promote visibility of their companies while utilizing the month of Ramadan?
Yeah, given the nature of the economy we are undergoing, now even if somebody has something, they really feel they don't have.
So there is no contentment in the...
Yeah, the level of contentment is a little bit low when you try to look at all people. Somebody who has what to eat for the whole week will feel as if he doesn't have what to eat tomorrow.
And we'll go for the promotion.
Exactly. So we are finding that people who would have benefited from these, type of sadaqah and campaigns to upgrade the status of the underprivileged during the month of Ramadan are actually not the right people receiving the packages. So it's kind of a big challenge, that because certain people are close to knowing where these opportunities are, so they are always first at positioning or presenting themselves to take up these opportunities.
Before the ones who actually need.
Before the ones who actually need. For example, you'll find that at a certain mosque, they have delivered, Ramadan packages to be taken by the needed people. But because the topmost people who are in the committee of the mosque, they'll always pack things and take to their homes. You find out that he has taken a package of around 30 people in only one single
household.
One single household, because he has the authority and he's the person presented as the face of the society. So we find it a challenge that the real people who would have benefited from this are not the right people who are benefiting from this kind of packages and benefits.
It's very unfortunate. Any one or two solutions you can give to that challenge? What companies can look out for to ensure that they're giving to the right people and still promoting maybe visibility?
Yeah, I advise corporate institutions that have different arrangements in Ramadan, because this is part of, as businesses, this is part of our tax contribution. When my company does a CSR program, as we are trying to present our financials, these are some of the activities we present. So I would encourage corporate institutions to work along with different charity organizations that are credible. I mean, we have seen some of these credible institutions, much as there are some loopholes somewhere, somehow, but I mean, at a certain extent, they are successful. Yeah, we have seen Salam Charity, we have seen a number of them. There is Al Hidayah Foundation and many others, House of Zakah. They have reached out to these people who are underprivileged. And they have, because these are institutions that run programs year in, year out, they always, evaluate and monitor their campaigns. So there are high chances that the level of misuse of resources is minimal.
Okay, thank you so much. There is what we call Halal Certification. Within this, do you find that in our country there is a need for halal certified products? Does the market appreciate the halal certified products?
It's a little bit of fashion. It's a little bit of a topic that would be tabled to discuss about, but I know these are new phenomena that we need to work on day in, day out. We have seen the Halal Certification Bureau trying to do its work. So what we encourage is that they should come out and do a lot of awareness to the Muslims. Then the Muslims will automatically adopt what they tell them, because it is part of the religious obligation we have to feed ourselves with only halal things. Actually, one of the things that would affect our societies in terms of incomes and barakah is consuming non-halal products or consuming getting our incomes from non-halal what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would pull out the barakah if we continue feeding ourselves, consuming non-halal products or using money from non-halal sources to feed our what? Our people and feed ourselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would automatically pull out barakah into our life and we are going to suffer and live a miserable what? So it is an obligation each and every Muslim has to make sure that they are feeding from a halal source of income, but again feeding from halal products. So we call upon the Bureau concerned to work along with other media houses to bring these issues to awareness so that people can get to know and improve their lives. There are new phenomena which we cannot underrate in terms of the work they have done, but they need to pull up and do a lot more of awareness.
Especially in this month of Ramadan. As we conclude, I just want you to wrap up on the insights of the discussion on how businesses can really exploit value from Ramadan, and as well encourage businesses to practice as much halal as possible.
Yeah, in my recap, the take home is one, businesses that have not aligned their zakah contribution, it is highly recommended that you can actually take an intention to start your zakah contribution within the month of Ramadan. It could create a lot of impact to your business if you dedicate it. Then businesses that would ought to do their corporate social responsibility, give out charity contributions to different communities, it is also good to do it in Ramadan. It not only benefits these people, but it is also going to benefit you. So you are getting double rewards. The taxi people are going to give you waivers depending on how you have contributed, but also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you higher rewards, because remember, in the month of Ramadan, the rewards are tripled, are quadrupled, are times. Yeah. So also businesses that have employees, please give some time to these employees. Reduce the type of tasks you give them. Reduce the type of load you give them so that they can get some time to do some religious obligations. Then also let's try to work as much as possible on the way we earn as Muslims. Like we have said, if you earn in an improper way, an unhalal way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to pull the barakah out of your business. Yeah. And nobody, who does not need the barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We all need it. So essentially, those are the take homes I would give to every viewer who has been watching us today, to be the take home for them to benefit from this program.
Alhamdulillah, that has been Mr. Mtebi Alawi from Eurosat Group of Companies, and this has been the Islam and Finance Show, where we discuss issues to do with Islam and finance, generally beyond just the financial institutions like Hijaz Finance, but also down to the businesses that are growing or grooming the economy of the Ummah. Thank you for watching. My name is Nanteza Nadia Malka, and we encourage you to come check us out at Hijaz Finance so you can get your halal savings, credit and investment program running. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.